No sign of him, my lord.
I thought he would come. Harry? No! What are you doing here? Quiet! Harry Potter. The boy who lived. Come to die.
Hi, Awesome Joe here. First of all, I wanted to thank you all for having to watch my Harry Potter Saga franchise movie reviews part 1. Now I'm going to go ahead and get started here with having to watch part 2. The other 4 of the Harry Potter films that concludes the entire of the Harry Potter saga, with starting with Order of the Pheonix, then on to Half-Blood Prince, along with Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Deathly Hallows Part 2. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get started here with having to watch The Order of the Pheonix. Alright, so I went ahead and finished watching Harry Potter and the Order of the Pheonix. I had a lot of fun with this one. I have a lot of fun with all the Harry Potter movies here. Even though I give you guys some bad compliments on what the films are like, and there are also some great things about the films as well. This one takes place sometime after the fourth film, The Goblet of Fire, having to know that the return of Lord Voldemort has come back. And but the thing is that we are introduced to more of the wizarding world by introducing us to the Ministry, to several other different characters, along with some other regular faces, familiar faces that we've recognized from different other Harry Potter films, coming together as the Order of the Pheonix, building up this army to go against Lord Voldemort, getting prepared for this epic battle between good versus evil, and I see that the movie is doing what it can by developing itself from the originality from the books, and because I did read several Harry Potter books, and Order of the Pheonix happens to have been one of them. And I really did admire this one a lot because it gives us more depth to more of the characters, and having to see that that Harry Potter is struggling. He's experiencing his dark side because now that Lord Voldemort has come back, both him and Harry Potter are both of the same person, and that is a very mysterious, very interesting fact about the two characters as to why they are who they are, why are they being the way that they are. And we get to experience and to acknowledge what happens with them throughout this film. And I really do admire this movie a lot. It's not, like I said, this is not one of my favorite Harry Potter movies. There are some moments within the film that I do get extremely bored, but the movie is still very entertaining. It's still very watchable. Like I said before, I had a great time, had a lot of fun with it. I do love the battle sequences that we have during the ending of the film, where you get to see the Order of the Pheonix versus the Death Eaters. So that's a really great part, especially with the epic scene that we get between Dumbledore and Voldemort. That is an epic scene. It's a scene that I've been wanting to watch for a long, long time, and having to get to see it, it's an amazing experience. Hogwarts is going through some difficult times right now, since the Ministry happens to believe that Harry Potter is lying, that Lord Voldemort has come back, but only because of the basis of their fear. They are very terrified to having to accept the fact that this Dark Lord has returned and is trying to fulfill his very fullest of taking over the wizarding world. And so they bring in this new professor called Professor Umbridge, who is like in every single Harry Potter film, a new teacher in the dark arts. And this one, she does not try to prepare any of the students with any type of magic or any defense spells, and that puts Harry Potter and all the other characters that are students within Hogwarts in a position of having to take things on their own terms, by building up their own army, by teaching themselves on how to become better wizards. In which cases, if there was an attack from Lord Voldemort and his army, that they are very well prepared and ready to face these enemies of theirs. So, like I said, great time. Love Order of the Pheonix. Not my favorite. I didn't get to go watch this one in the theaters, but it was a great experience having to watch it for the first time, from what I remember. Great, awesome time. I never do have any bad terms when it comes to these films. But like I said, not every movie is perfect. There's always going to be some flaws to point out. But other than that, I had a great time with it. Order of the Pheonix, I'm going to go ahead and have to give it an 81%. It's an excellent movie. Had a great time with it. But I believe that the Harry Potter movies can get better. But other than that, that's my review for Order of the Pheonix. What do you guys think? Leave a comment in the section in the bottom. Let's have an awesome conversation regarding towards this flick or any of your favorite Harry Potter movies in general. So let's go ahead and end this review for Order of the Pheonix and jump off to the next chapter of this Harry Potter saga of the Half-Blood Prince. Alright, just to give you guys a heads up, I just finished watching Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Now, like I said before, that all these Harry Potter movies I'm very overly fond of. I overly enjoy each and every single one. But there's always a limit to each and every single film here, and Half-Blood Prince happens to be my least favorite. I enjoy, like I said, every single film is awesome. It's great to the T. But when it comes to the Half-Blood Prince, I found it to be a film that did not seem to be very useful. There are several situations that do occur throughout the film, but nothing that seems to be of great importance. And I just find out for this film to be something as if nothing really happened. Honestly, nothing really happened. Yes, like I said, you get several things that do occur throughout the film. Like, say, for example, we got Draco Malfoy, played by Tom Felton, throughout the whole series, who has more of a significant importance to the film because he is assigned by the Dark Lord Voldemort on a certain task to kill Dumbledore, and he is also being protected by Snape, that is given the assignment to protect Malfoy on his mission to fulfill his task. And I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that throughout all these films, that every single Harry Potter film, every scene has Harry Potter in them. And then I noticed in this one that for the first time I've ever seen a scene without Harry Potter, and I'm just like, interesting. And and when it comes to this movie, that scene does have an importance to this film, having Snape given the unbreakable bond to protect Malfoy at all costs, and several other situations that happen throughout this movie. For example, we got Miss Bonnie Wright, who has been playing the character Ginny Weasley, Ron Weasley's sister, throughout these movies, and has grown to become more of a romantic relief to the Harry Potter character. People and myself have always believed that Harry Potter and Hermione would have been more of a better connection. But since to see that Harry Potter has so much on his plate to be dealing with when it comes to the Dark Lord and having to build up this relationship towards all of his teachers and staff, and including Dumbledore himself, I think that he has too much on his plate to having to deal with the romantic relief, even though he is a child going through, teenage hormones, wanting to fall in love, liking girls, this and that, even though that has been going on ever since, I'd say, the Goblet of Fire that's been going on. And in the Order of the Pheonix, we got Helena Bonham Carter, whom I believe is a great actress, and I think that she just fits perfectly playing in these movies as Bellatrix Lestrange. And I just think that she's very wonderful. She's a great, perfect choice to play the villainous Lestrange. And her being in this movie, at the ending of the Order of the Phoenix, she killed Sirius Black, Harry Potter's godfather. And now there's this revenge story going on between her and Harry Potter, where Harry Potter's trying to go after her, trying to get her to revenge for his godfather's death. And then we also have, of course, like I said, in every single Harry Potter film, there's always a new teacher in the Defense Against the Dark Arts, but this one is more dealing with potions, which brings Mr. Jim Broadbent, who plays Professor Slughorn, into this. And Slughorn has a significant importance to this film because he happens to be one of the very exact teachers that gave value information to Tom Riddle, aka Voldemort, when he was a child as a student in Hogwarts, about some dark magic that's related towards Horcruxes, which is dividing his soul into seven different items to gain immortality. And so in which cases he cannot be killed. And that's what brings Harry Potter and Dumbledore teaming up together in this movie. You have more of a very valuable relationship between the two, and which brings these two to believe that, that they're coming to a point to where they need to find out on how they can destroy Lord Voldemort. And so they're on a mission to gain that information and to find these Horcruxes before this great war between good and evil occurs, which will be in future films. And like I said, throughout the film, I don't really feel so comfortable with it being of any importance, but I do like the ending to where we get Malfoy, who is tempted to kill Dumbledore, but instead we get Snape, who does it, who happens to be the Half-Blood Prince, and now Hogwarts is at stake here with all the students and the teachers, and now we are on this climactic conclusion to seeing what's going to happen next in the final chapter of this two-part Harry Potter films, The Deathly Hallows. And so for my ratings towards the Half-Blood Prince, I give it a 75%. Like I said, not my favorite Harry Potter film, my least favorite Harry Potter film. And I didn't see this one in theaters, but I give the movie a good 75%. So what do you guys think? Leave a comment in the section on the bottom, and we can have an awesome conversation regarding towards this film or any of the Harry Potter films in general. So let's go ahead and jump out to the climactic conclusion of the Harry Potter series, The Deathly Hallows Part 1. Alright, I got finished watching The Deathly Hallows Part 1, and I wanted to go ahead and let you guys know that, I said that the Half-Blood Prince wasn't at all that interesting, that it was a complete waste of film, that it had no significant importance of being part of the series. Well, that movie compared to this one, I'd have to say that the Half-Blood Prince was a lot more interesting compared to the Deathly Hallows Part 1, because even though Half-Blood Prince is one of my one of my least favorites of the Harry Potter movies. Right next to it would have to be the Deathly Hallows Part 1. Because why? I just don't understand, as interesting and as exciting as it was at first having to hear that the last final Harry Potter book was going to be broken into 2 movies, I thought, what a brilliant idea, what an excellent idea to do that, to finalize the whole series, to make this epic ending as long as possible, as exciting, to visualize and experience every single moment that we've gone through this long, epic 10-year journey, experiencing through the wizarding world of Harry Potter. And I really, there's not so much going on within this movie, other than the fact that, yes, they do get to find a Horcrux. They do get to destroy a Horcrux, get to find out how to destroy them, and are on an epic mission on having to find all the other Horcruxes. We know that Dumbledore destroyed one of them, which was a ring in Half-Blood Prince, and then Harry Potter destroyed the Tom Riddle diary in the Chamber of Secrets. And so there are several others going on out there, and that's what they're on this expedition for. This movie has nothing to do with Hogwarts at all whatsoever. This is pretty much just the first half of what's going to be looking forward to within the second film. And I love this movie so much for only one reason. One reason only. I very much love the beginning. The beginning is just so amazing. It's entitled, the soundtrack to the beginning is called Obliviate, and it's by Alexander Desplat. And he does amazing composing music within this film. I love on how the beginning is. It's just so emotional, and it just puts you in that position of that excitement of knowing that this is it. This is where we are going to see the ending to this Harry Potter series. That everything is going to come together. The final piece to the puzzle. All questions are going to be answered. So it's pretty amazing, and having Alan Rickman coming back as Professor Snape, who is this double-crossing character who turned from good to bad, but is he bad? Well, it's always a big question, having to wonder, what the answer is to this big question, which we will find out in the next final film. But otherwise, another character brought back into this film that everybody loves, and I love myself also, is Dobby, the free elf. I love Dobby. Dobby is so cool. I forgot to mention him when I was doing my Chamber of Secrets review, and I just love Dobby. He's so awesome, and it's just a shame, spoiler alert here, for you guys who have not watched this movie yet, but yes, Dobby dies at the end, and it's very shameful to see such a lovable character being killed off that way. And I don't know if anybody ever does notice within these Harry Potter movies, but ever since Lord Voldemort came back, a majority of the characters have been being killed off. Like in the 4th film, Cedric Diggory was killed. Then in the 5th movie was Sirius Black. The 6th movie was Dumbledore, and now this one we got what's that owl called? Hedwig dies along with Dobby. So, and also Mad Eye Moody from the Goblet of Fire, he got killed off too. So a lot of these characters are getting killed off, and I know for a fact that there's going to be several other characters in the final film that are going to get killed off also. And that's what really draws me into loving these movies, because they are very, very solid on their decision making on as to who's going to survive and who's going to die, so on and so forth. So it really does bring me into that reality of having to believe that this is a world that I am very fully satisfied with. So Deathly Hallows Part 1, I go ahead and give it, well, the Half-Blood Prince, I gave it a 75, and this one, since I liked it a little bit more compared to the Half-Blood Prince, I would have to give it a 77%. So, it's a fair rating. I still enjoy every single Harry Potter movie. This is a great film to watch, very enjoyable to watch. It's just that nothing really happened throughout this movie, and that's kind of a little bit disappointing. I feel like the movie was very stretched out, like there was no legitimate purpose of there even having to be a 2-part film. but it's still very exciting to having to see two films within the same story, and I'm very excited to watch the final Harry Potter movie that I'm going to be popping in next. And it's been a great long journey having to watch all these films as fast as I can possible in order for me to do this review for you guys. So that's my review for the Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. What did you guys think? Leave a comment in the section in the bottom. Let's have an awesome conversation regarding towards this flick or any of the movies in general. So let me go ahead and pop up the last final Harry Potter movie, The Deathly Hallows Part 2. Alright, so here I am, Awesome Joe, finally finished watching all Harry Potter movies after having to watch Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. And oh my god, has it been a long journey for me to be watching all 8 of these movies. It has been exhausting, but yet exciting altogether. I love every single Harry Potter film, even though I have some flaws against them, and even though the majority of them are not my favorites, but I would have to say that Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is indeed my most favorite Harry Potter film of all time. I love the Goblet of Fire, I love the Chamber of Secrets, but none of them beats this one. This one is it. This is the one that will finish everything that we've gone through for the last 10 years of watching these films from 2001 all the way to 2011. This movie was released July 2011, and sad to say, I didn't get the chance to go and watch this in the theaters, and I regret it to this day because it would have been awesome and so amazing to have watched this movie in theaters. I so regret not watching it. If it ever does get released back in the theaters again, I would love the opportunity to go back and watch it. So this movie takes place immediately right after the first Deathly Hallows movie, and we see now that Severus Snape is now the headmaster of Hogwarts, which puts pretty much Hogwarts and the teachers, staff, and the students all in danger. And we see that Harry Potter and his friends are on another mission to find more Horcruxes by going to Bellatrix's vault to collect one of them, which brings them back to Hogwarts to find more Horcruxes that are hidden within the castle, and so which brings the battle between good and evil, the Death Eaters versus the Order of the Pheonix, everybody coming together from all different films throughout this franchise, coming to this final battle, and the Battle of Hogwarts is just so amazing. I mean, I love it to the T. It is so great. It's the epic battle that we've been waiting for throughout every single Harry Potter film that builds up to this very single moment where we get to see how this whole thing clashes together and how it all ends. And there's so many characters within this movie that do die in this movie, and one of them happens to be the most memorable, which is Snape. Snape, however, is actually a double agent, well, triple agent, if you'd say. He's a good guy gone bad, but actually he's a good guy that's on the bad side. So, and after when he died, Harry Potter collects some of his tears and sees a vision of the past that Harry Potter notices about who and why Snape is doing what he does, and we get to see that Snape actually was in love with his mother, and that Harry Potter's dad was a douchebag. So I guess I was okay with that, and it made me wonder that didn't really answer the question. Is Snape Harry Potter's actual dad? I don't know. It was a question that I thought that I didn't really get the answer from within this movie. If you guys have the answer to that, if I'm wrong about this, because I didn't get to read the Harry Potter Deathly Hallows book. It's a very long book, and I just was very much more satisfied watching just the film alone. And oh my god, man. And Harry Potter within that vision discovers that he is actually a Horcrux himself, and so he hits himself out on a mission to go and get himself killed in order to leave Voldemort in a position of being the only thing left to be destroyed and to be defeated. So there's a lot of sacrifices put into this movie, and there's a lot of dark realms within the film that's very out basis compared to the first Harry Potter film, that things are just so dark and so complicated, but yet so exciting and amazing altogether. And I admire this movie so much that, which brought me to another question, is if you were to think about both like Maggie Smith or Julie Walters' characters, Professor McGonagall and Molly Weasley, those two, I'm just like, wow, those two can really kick ass. Because I know that one of them kills Bellatrix, which was amazing. And I love and how Maggie Smith is just has great leadership skills in this. Like, she's like she leads the battle. And I'm like thinking, how old is she? I mean, I don't know if you guys remember her in the movie Hook, which was like back in '96. And she looked like she was like really old. I guess that they must have really done a lot of great effects on her to make her, I guess she was younger, very young, and I mean, and she looks great for her age, regardless. I don't even know how old she is, but I mean, knowing that she actually went through all 8 of these films without any, critical issues. So I give best credits to her for having to, fulfill her task within each and every single one of these films. So roots on to her for that. And I love how Lord Voldemort gets defeated, and then after that, it's very much like, okay, it's over. We don't get what happens. Like, we don't get any aftermath or anything like that. We just get what happens after 19 years later. We get to see how. Well, I mean, everybody seems to be pretty all right, but Harry Potter, wow. He looks great for being in his late 30s. I mean, he's like in his early 20s, and yet they made him look in his late 30s, and he looks great. I mean, and I love the fact that how Harry Potter ends up with the Weasley girl, Ginny Weasley, and if you look at them, they kind of look similar to Harry Potter's parents, mom and dad. So I guess in a sense, everything just turned out just fine. So I had a lot of fun with this movie. My favorite Harry Potter movie at all time. I actually left the Wizarding World after this movie. I really don't care for Fantastic Beasts, but me being a professional movie critic, I'd have to go ahead and give some credits to both of those films to go and watch it and just give it a chance to see if I would like it or not. But otherwise, after Harry Potter, I'm fully satisfied with this franchise. It's a great, successful franchise. I love it. It's so awesome. What do you guys think? Leave a comment in the section in the bottom. Let's have an awesome conversation regarding towards this film or any of the movies in general. So, my percentage for Harry Potter, The Deathly Hallows Part 2 would have to be a 95%. Very, very awesome movie. I can't wait to, watch it again if I want to. I could probably watch it right now if I like. So I might just do it right now. So I'm Awesome Joe. Thank you guys so much for taking in the time to watching my videos. You guys are such a huge inspiration for me to doing my personal hobby, because I love to talk about movies, but more importantly, I love to talk about them with you. And as always, stay awesome. Thanks, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.